Hi, welcome back to FutureFast Conversation with Pushpalatha. And in this segment, we are talking about future trends and predictions. And you've already heard her journey in the entrepreneurial journey and also her journey of healthcare and ecosystem building efforts. So, towards that, so welcome back once again, Pushpa. And here's the first thing about what are the biggest changes you foresee in the future corresponding to healthcare? That is your chosen uh, business world.
Yeah. So definitely healthcare ecosystem, like I mentioned previously, it's the growing, largely the major sector which is growing phenomenally in all aspects, right? Including the technology, innovation, and everything. So it actually healthcare industry is its peak in terms of transforming that segment itself. So one thing which I keep hearing when I frequently meet the professionals and experts from this field is that the whole healthcare industry will definitely move in 5 years' time to 10 years' time. Everything will be about preventive healthcare. So how are we? Even though we are, right now much focused on the curative aspect of the treatment. So how can we inculcate preventive aspects also in our business, or it can be an impact initiative. So definitely preventive healthcare is one thing which we are heading towards. And the second important thing what I'm seeing is, alternative therapy in healthcare is becoming most popular these days, right? Because all people they've started to understand the impact of these medicines over a long term on their body. So definitely alternative therapies, like definitely coming from India, we should definitely carry pride of carrying this Ayurveda treatment in all our therapies and treatment. And to some extent we also inculcate it in GarbhaGudi in a holistic way, managing the emotions, stress, and also treating some of the patients from the Ayurveda background also. And definitely homeopathy is getting a lot. You might have seen a lot of things are coming up in homeopathy treatment also these days. So definitely alternative therapy will take a big step in coming days. And third thing which I mentioned, if government can support country as such in handling the healthcare ecosystem, in supporting healthcare entrepreneurs, maybe in terms of insurance, maybe in terms of infrastructure, maybe with research and innovation, getting the medical manufacturing devices into in India. So definitely that way Ayushman Bharat and digital healthcare mission has been two great initiatives from government of India. So I think these are the biggest three things which I'm seeing right now, Anjali.
So we did talk about GarbhaGudi and how it's preparing. From a status point of view, how are
Yeah.
you trying to get ready with this?
Yeah, so from Stratist, what we are doing is, like I said, the whole mission of Stratist has been to build sustainable, enduring healthcare enterprises. So we are on a mission of building such healthcare enterprises. So when it comes to sustainability, definitely the present and the future aspect comes into picture of creating such ecosystems at every stage, whether you are a startup entrepreneur or a scaling or you are at a scaling stage, or maybe you are in a growth phase of taking this into a global brand or so. So then the how can you make it sustainable in terms of inculcating the future trends of this industry also is what we have many experts from various healthcare domains, including the mental health. We call it under Stratist, healthcare is a very broad definition for us, because healthcare involves all the 5 to 6 layers of health what we are supposed to take care, right? The physical, mental, intellectual, and the emotional and and spiritual also. So all the layers of healthcare, but also we have started this step of taking up one step at a time, but definitely we will explore whole perspective of whole gamut of healthcare coming up. Like I said, I know in Spark we have various initiatives: Spark, Ignite, and Empower stages. Each stage has its own sustainable actions involved in it.
So if you were to be an advisor to this G20 presidency that India holds currently, right?
Yeah,
Already there was a report coming from them suggesting that India is going to take a lead in uh, drawing up a policy on cryptocurrency. So
right.
to that extent, India is already promoting yoga per se, right? And
True.
was responsible in making Yoga Day. So
Yeah.
with that Ayush pushing for Ayurveda and various other things. So if you were to make a recommendation, right? If you were to advise them on this side, right, from either from integrated or overall health, what advices would you make for India to take it to the G20 as a as a president this term?
Yeah. So when I got I think I had shared it some time back in one of the platform, that when I got an opportunity to meet President of India, I got an opportunity to meet President of India, and I had uh, conversation on how can we bring equitable healthcare and education to everyone, to all the strata of society. So one thing which has been and we discussed a project plan also. Right now I'm also working on that project of building this healthcare and education ecosystem for tribal region. That's the context in which I had the opportunity to meet President of India. So one thing what I was also reflecting there is, today healthcare has become a highly expensive factor for people. I'm not saying about fever, cold, cough, which is that is not the scene. When it comes to cancer, when it comes to any other high-end treatment, which people for various reasons, even it can be accident, trauma, whatever. So if people have to take, if people are there at this stage, right, either the upper middle class or middle class, they will go to afford the treatment what they need, healthcare treatment, they will come down one step in their financial aspects. This is what I've seen, including fertility treatment. So they spend so much and things. So that's exactly where we are trying to build GarbhaGudi University, so that every fertility treatment giving center can come and take the benefit of the research what we have done in this segment. So any healthcare challenge should not lead a person towards getting into poverty stage. So that's the recommendation which I would do, to say that can we build that equitable healthcare and education. I know it's very easy to sit here and say, and as an entrepreneur it makes for many not it doesn't make sense for many of the entrepreneurs, that how can we lead life or how can we run business if that situation comes in. But I would love to quote which I mentioned morning, that if private healthcare providers and government can join hands, definitely India can much move towards providing this to all strata of society, affordable best treatment for all strata of society, and definitely it will be a win-win for everyone. We can build such kind of an ecosystem. I would love to quote that way the Rashrutana Hospital. They have opened one center in Bangalore, Rajarajeshwari Nagar. I happened to visit that hospital. It's a mega facility what they've built, and that's their vision, right? So it's definitely possible.
Right. So if you were to make three predictions, not necessarily in the healthcare, right? From where things will be impacting us, from the point of life, work, and healthcare also. So,
Yeah, yeah.
do you want to take a shot at it? And how far do you want to make a prediction? Something for 3 years, or 5 years, 10 years, 30 years? What would you want to do?
Yeah, I think the world will definitely, I mean, the scenario of what's happening in the outside world, right? That what do you call geopolitics? And it definitely, geopolitics would will not be that important, okay, then I mean, geopolitics will become much more, I mean, important than the geoeconomy, which is driving the globe today, right? I mean, the US, and then the European countries, and then all the Asian countries, and then African countries. That would never be the scenario. So definitely, I mean, we have seen this in last decade, how India has progressed from being called as, the developing, to already much fast forward our growth towards a developed nation, but still a long way to go. But world at large is definitely becoming flat now, than getting, I mean, driven through geo-economic power. World is becoming much more flatter, lot of opportunities for everyone to explore. And I have seen in last, I mean, 10 years, that how at a grassroots level, engineering students, second semester, third semester engineering students have come up with such fantastic products and things. And there is no, I mean, today challenge for to see first generation entrepreneur, billionaire entrepreneurs. It was previously, when I used to see for role models in entrepreneurship, it used to be second generation and third generation, right? So Tatas and Birlas. But now, how many examples we have in first generation billionaire entrepreneurs? So definitely, I mean, there is a lot of scope and opportunities. Only thing is, we need to get geared up in terms of, I mean, renewing our perceptions, and also build a lot of skills and competences to gear up to this highly technically advancing phenomena happening right now.
So if I try to, I'll try to repeat or try to say what I understood. So one, at a global level, you think the world, whatever has been polarized, will no longer be as polarized, and it will rather be uh, more interconnected. Is that right? That's how.
Definitely. See,
Okay.
US
So
and
when do you see, what timeline do you see this? 5, 10 years from now? 20 years from now?
10 years from now, 10 years
10
from
years
now.
from
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Okay.
10 to 15
Wonderful.
years from now.
So from being a global economy to going towards localized economies to again a globalized economy, but hopefully retaining the value of local economy,
True, true.
right? And so that is one. And second thing is on the work front. You see more entrepreneurs coming out, more innovations taking place, and more younger people driving a lot more change, which is only fair, right? We in India, I think 50% of the population is below 35. So,
True.
okay, uh, so work is going to be driven more by younger innovators and more first
Yeah,
generation entrepreneurs driving it, and on the work front, again, you say for people need to work towards more relevant skills. That is the uh, right, to be prepared to be relevant. They need to be keep updating on relevant skills. Okay, and on the healthcare, do you want to? I mean, of course, we briefly talked about that eggs being frozen. So,
yeah. Mm.
so, uh, uh, so when do you think that would be the order of the day?
Not much time it would take, probably 5 years from now. They will, I mean, they have no other option. Next generation has no other option other than choosing these kind of, I mean, technology available to ensure that they enjoy every aspect of life, right? So at least, the whole society will push them towards making these decisions. There will not be, I mean, any other options for them. So
Right.
it was not like our generation, where, I mean, we were really, I mean, okay to listen to what, I mean, our elders or family used to say, right? So now it's generation of they want to make a decision for their life. And definitely I don't either negate that or so. Definitely it's their life, they got to make the decision. So the world will, society will push them towards making that decision. So egg freezing will definitely, in 5 years time, it will become a common phenomena in healthcare. So especially in fertility treatment. So, and definitely government hospitals need a total makeover in healthcare. So today, if you walk in, I've seen only hardly one or two government hospitals and some semi-government like Rashtrutana gearing up to that level. But a lot of, lot makeover
Rashtrutana is a
needed from
completely
top to bottom.
private effort, right? Or
It's a
Rashtrutana is a government?
completely private effort to
Oh, okay.
something. I think it's semi-government also, little. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. All right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in
So
this, how do you see the uh, uh, how do you see relationship with the younger generation then? uh, how do the our generation come to terms with the younger generation who do that? I mean, if people become a parent at potentially they could even be single parents, and the
yeah.
whole social structure is going to be changing.
Yeah, that's where I think I had read somewhere that India's population, already that ratio is coming down.
Right.
Even though we have crossed that range, but still the ratio has come down. So significantly, there will be an impact in terms of, parent people on making a decision of staying either as a single parent or just be the way which they want to explore life for them. But definitely the happy part, or I always look at mostly I always personally look at positive aspect of everything. So looking at that way, I think we carry the biggest responsibility of seeing the transition from that decade to this decade, that we should be responsible enough to give them that platform of exploring themselves whatever they want to, and also carry that culture of what needs to be carried as a value system for them, right? So even though the need may change, certain value systems will remain the same no matter what happens over a period of time. So I think that way we have a much more bigger responsibility to give them in any form. So whether it is through podcast or audiobooks, and I feel very happy to see today that there is not even one single topic which I can say that I don't know and I could find out answer for this today. There is so much of available information. So I think it becomes our biggest responsibility to leave that kind of knowledge and information to the next generation so that they can make use of it. They'll only listen to these things. So that's their treasure, that's their knowledge repository, what they will look forward, not in their family. So definitely it becomes our responsibility to leave such knowledge and information treasure for them to explore.
Uh, in this context, who do you think would be the ideal role models for the future?
In terms of, entrepreneurs or
Or
personal.
any of it, right? I mean, who, given the way the things are changing, who would be the people who will be making impact on the future? So one is obviously technology is changing, and any technology entrepreneur will obviously be driving the change.
Hmm.
But from what we currently see, right? I mean, what we see as of today, who that you see are the people who are doing things that are going to impact the future? Any
Few
technologist
people,
or any
yeah.
entrepreneur or any policymaker, if you think is somebody who's doing
Yeah,
things.
definitely. Policymaker lot, right? So, like I mentioned, I really love the initiatives what few of the state governments have taken. Like, I don't
You
want to name
mentioned
the
Tamil Nadu
politicians
government
here.
and Odisha.
Orissa, Delhi, by for that matter. Maybe, as the political party I may not agree on those things, but still what few initiatives what they have taken in each of these individual states of Odisha, Delhi, and Tamil Nadu will make a huge difference if it can be implemented and if it can be made sustainable initiative in those states. It can be replicated across. And definitely, I mean, people like Tejasvi Surya, whom I follow very closely in terms of the initiatives, what he takes and the way he drives it, right? So any aspect, it can be social impact initiative, it can be health, it can be education. He has done a very good job. So one guy whom I closely follow in terms of seeing what kind of policy makings and policy things are coming up, changes happening. And definitely people like Mahatreya Sadhguru, who can build that value system in a right way for all of us to hold on to. And few from medical industry, if I have to quote, I have read some of the initiatives which the Professor Muhammad Ali, I guess. So he has been really phenomenal. I'll just share has a learning reference material also. Professor Shafi Ahmad. He has done a very good job in cancer and oncology. So some of the key aspects today is a big challenge in those industries. The oncology treatment is not easy. It's really, difficult to get very good professionals and medical experts in those industries. So they've done a phenomenal job in these industries. So I think, these are the people whom I really look up to. And another beautiful book which I forgot to mention in the morning is Art of Winning Without Waging War by Sridhar. The one course which I've also, exploring now. So he's the ex-CEO of Bajaj Escorts. He has written a very beautiful
He's
book
one
on
of the
Art of War
mentors you
methodology.
mentioned. He's one of
Yeah,
your
Art of
mentors, you
War
said.
methodology. Yes, he's one of my mentors. So he's Art of War specialist. He's the, I think, as far as I know, he's the only one who practices Art of War methodology. It's Chinese war winning methodology, right? So it's applicable to business, it's applicable to personal life and professional life also for corporate working professionals. So that book is really fantastic. I would recommend everyone to read that book, Winning Without Waging War by Sridhar. Amazing book.
Okay.
And these are the people whom I really look up to.
Wonderful. And uh, uh, who would you like to propose if somebody should be invited to have this conversation and talk about future? Who would you like to hear their perspective on things?
Definitely Rajesh Bhatt, Iron Lady founder.
Right.
He
Okay.
is doing an amazing job of creating where there was no such community, this large community of diversified, people from various industries and segments we have today. So I think it's one of its kind, and I, proudly I can carry this saying I'm an iron lady, and I know what we are doing at the back end in building such community for women. So I would definitely recommend Rajesh Bhatt if he can give time, nothing like that.
Wonderful. So then I'll follow up with you on that to uh, help connecting with him. And thank
Definitely.
you for being you, the Iron Lady, and doing whatever you're doing, and also making time to share with us on this. And we'll also share the links and also what you're supporting for the startups, particularly in the healthcare space. Uh, uh, I think we just need a lot more, and we'll also share the links and encourage startup founders in the healthcare space to connect with you through your LinkedIn as well as on Stratist URL that we'll share. So thank you so much. Thank you once again. It was wonderful having you on FutureFast, and thanks for each of those things. And I'm sure all our audience, or listeners, whichever platform they're listening to, will enjoy it thoroughly. And thank you all of you who's following, who's subscribing, and we're also available on Apple Podcast and what do you? I'm forgetting the name. Pretty much all the popular ones. We're also on Spotify. We're also on Amazon Podcast. So wherever, whatever is convenient for you, we're also on YouTube. And the links are also available on our website. So enjoy and do leave note. Your feedbacks are very important. We really appreciate it. And thank you once again. And till we meet again, have a good time. Take care. Thank you once again, Pushpa. Take care.
Thank you, Nanjunda. Thank you. Bye.